Okay. Okay, fine. It's recording right now. In a parent-child relationship, the workflow is possible between the parent and child relationship from child to parent, but not from parent to child. Because whenever you are updating the records in a child, the workflow cannot understand which child it needs to actually update. But whereas in the child to parent relationship, the record is having only one parent, so that the workflow rule can understand which record it can update. So the vice versa of updating a record from child parent to child in workflows is not possible. Whereas the possibility is works with respect to the child to parent in the workflow rules, and we can overcome this limitation by using the process builder. And once we get into the topic, we will see it. And this is with respect to the parent and child. And if you do want any so it is like just like a normal updation. Let's go back to our profile and guys, mute yourself please. Okay. Refresh. Okay. uh, Guys, actually we are being late, so I will do one thing. I will post you an assignment with respect to the parent child updation, with respect to the workflow rules. Practice from your end and let me know how it actually functions and what you can do actually. Similarly, workflow rules are applicable from only child to parent, but not applicable from parent to child. One more time I am saying this. And I will give you an assignment with respect to this, and you where you can also work with respect to the workflows. And let me go into the topic of creating the hierarchical relationship. Similarly, when we are creating the relationships in Salesforce, we have certain different types of relations. Like we have master detail relationship, we have a lookup relationship, we have a joint relationship, joint object. We can make a junction object, and we have one more kind of relation is called as a hierarchical relationship. So at the time of creating the objects, we did not find any data type with respect to the hierarchical relationship. If we go to the customer object and see loan management. Okay. Anu, mute yourself please. Okay, this is with respect to your customer object. If you do go to your customer object and check whether you can create a hierarchical relationship or not, click on the setup and go to your object manager.
Can't see your screen.
Okay, actually the screen is sharing. Guys, are you not able to see the screen?
I'm able
I
to.
can see
Funny.
Funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, there is no problem with my side, yes. Just do check from yours because I'm sharing
Uh,
the screen.
Funny, just one quick thing. So the previous one, which you said, like the child
Mm,
will be.
mm.
Sorry, I didn't get that point. Like between the parent and
Actually,
child thing.
whenever you're working with the workflow rules, the update is possible. If you want to update a parent record field, the update is possible from the workflows from child to parent. If you created a workflow rule on a
Okay.
loan object, you
Okay.
can update a customer record field. That is possible. But if you create a workflow on the customer object and want to update a child, it is not possible actually in the workflows, because it
Okay.
cannot,
Okay.
because the system cannot understand which kind of which record which child record it should update. And it will bring up with a lot of confusions over there. So the in the workflow rules, it is not possible to update a child record from parent, but updating a parent record from a child is possible. And you can overcome these limitations by using the process builder. Tomorrow we are going with the topic of process builder, but today we are going with the approval process. In order to go with the approval process, we are having some of the prerequisites with respect to the hierarchical relation actually in the Salesforce. So hierarchical we are come back to the hierarchical relations. If you go to the object manager and check with the customer object and click on the fields and relationships. If you do want to create a field relationship field, you need to go for the fields and relations and click on the new, and there it will give you all the list of the data types that are available in your object, right? Sorry, that are the data types available with respect to this with this object. So can you find a relationship called as hierarchical field relationship? There is no such thing called as hierarchical relationship over there. Why? Because the hierarchical relationship is a specific relationship which is applicable only to the user objects, saying that only on a user object you can create a hierarchical relationship. Similarly, when we are creating the users, we what we are doing, we will just click on the new user and specify the name of the user and everything, right? Similarly, as a customer object, as a loan object, as a services, as a payment object, user is also an object in the Salesforce. So got my point? Actually, user is also an object in our Salesforce. User. So this is our user object, and what are the fields that are available in this object? You can see it over in the fields and relationships. So these are the available fields that are available in your user object, and you can select your mobile name, nickname, password, profile, role, and what is the time zone that you are working for, URL, and everything. Suppose if you do want to create a relationship, a hierarchical relationship is only possible on the user object. So if you do want to create a hierarchical relationship, go to your user object from the object manager and go to the fields and relations and click on new. Since we click on the new, can you able to see any of the relations called as a lookup relation or master deleted relation or any other relations other than the hierarchical relationship? Even the roll up summary has been disabled. On certain conditions only it will be enabled. I think I need to check with this with respect to this. So this is the hierarchical relationship though. So what is a hierarchical relationship? Hierarchical relationship is a specific relationship which is only applicable to the user objects. On a user object only you can create this hierarchical relation. Click on the hierarchical relationship, and I want to click next. So similarly, as a lookup and a master detail relationship, what it will do, it will uh, refer to the parent record in another object, right? Similarly, in the user object also, if you do want to give a lookup relation to the another object, saying that he is my regional manager or he is my actual zonal manager, in such a situations you can actually create your hierarchical relationship in your user record, and you can store the ID of the corresponding user, and you can use it in your business processes. So if you do want to create, I want to create the user field saying that uh, what is the field label that I want? Zonal manager. Let me create zonal zonal manager. Okay. This is the lookup relationship which I have given. I want to specify the same name as the child relation name. Okay, manager, and this is with respect to the filter criteria. I don't want to give any filter criteria right now. Okay, it should be underscore. Since the child name is expecting me to click on next. Okay, so this is with respect to the we have specified the label name of the zonal manager relation as a zonal manager, and in which profiles you want to this relationship to be available. I want to select for all the profiles that are there in my organization and click on next, and to which layout it you need to be enabled. Just don't worry about this page layout and record types. We will see, we will look into them shortly. So you have created a relation called as so you have created a field saying that is for creating a zonal manager. So you want to give a lookup to the other user saying that specific user is my zonal manager. So now let's go to the users. So I want to click on the setup, and in the setup we have administration, users, and in the users we have a field called as user, and click on any one of the user that we have user whom we have created actually. And this is with respect to the, let's click on the Sham's profile. So this is the Sham, and just click on edit. Okay, so in the additional information section, you can see a field called as zonal manager, which we have created so that it can give a lookup relation to the another person, saying that he is my zonal manager. Suppose who is the manager of the Sham? Sirisha is the manager of the Sham in the organization. So if you do want to specify any other users, saying that he is my corresponding person whom I have to report to, like he is my user manager, with respect to that you need to create a hierarchical relation. So hierarchical relation is a relationship which is possible only in the user objects, and uh, uh, actually hierarchical relationship. Okay. uh, and hierarchical relationship is a relationship which will specify the another user, saying that he is my zonal manager or he is my regional manager or some other person. And actually in the hierarchical level we can see the relation with respect to the manager, executive, clerk, and with respect to the HR manager and HR executive. Similarly, what we have practiced in our earlier scenarios. But in the user record we have an one more option, which is a standard field, which is a standard lookup field, which is called as a manager. You can choose the specific user as a manager to the specific person. Like when you are going with the organization wide scenarios, you will be having a certain scenario like saying that this person manager is not the manager that you are expecting from a role level. In a roles, in the set of the defined roles, the manager of the person is not the actual manager of this person. The actual manager of the person is someone else, and you need to assign the records or send the data, or you should report to the some other person, saying that he is the manager of this user. So in order to do that, the Salesforce already provides you with a standard field called as manager in its user object. And if you do click on this manager, and you can select the any other person whom you want to be the manager. So I'm selecting no, actually Anusha is the clerk, right, in our organization. I don't want to take her, I want to take another person, saying that okay, Sirisha is the manager of this person. And who is the journal manager of this person, of this user Sham record is sorry, who is the journal manager of this Sham is Fanindra, is the zonal manager of the Sham. So since we have created this relationship field in the user object, and we have created manager field is by default available in the user object. And since we have defined who is the zonal manager and who is the manager, and click on save. And this is how we create a hierarchical relationship in the Salesforce. And make a note of this point. Hierarchical relationships are only possible on the user objects. It is not possible in any other object. If you do want to specify any other user as your business user whom you want to report to or whom you want to take an approval from, you can choose the person in your user object by taking the field as by creating a hierarchical field. So this is with respect to the user creation, and with respect to the hierarchical relationship in the Salesforce. And we don't have any prerequisites to any of this. So let's go to the process of our approval process. So since why do we go for the approval process in our daily requirement and in our day-to-day life? Suppose consider that workflows. So what the workflows will do? Workflows will automatically fire an action whenever the record criteria is satisfied. So it will check with the record criteria, and it will automatically perform the actions on the records without the request from any other persons. So it was done, workflows were. So in my organization I have a certain scenario like saying that I do want to get an approval from certain persons actually to perform my actions, to perform my automated actions on my object. Similarly saying that I do want to get an approval from one of the users in my organization to actually perform my action. So whenever they approve the record which I am sending to them, if they approve, then only my automated actions will perform. If not, they will not be. If the record is rejected, they will not be performed. So if you do want to control the your automated action from an approval from another person, you can go with the approval process. Simply, let's take an example and business scenario how we use the approval process in our day-to-day life. In consider that I am a clerk of an organization, and being a clerk, I was given as a sales representative role, and I need to sell some of my products to my other persons. So I talked with a customer and I explained all my products about to him. And after that, the customer is interested to purchase the product. Since person is interested in purchasing my product, but the main difficulty came here over to me with the customer is he is expecting a discount of 35%. But being a sales representative and a clerk of an organization, I can be able to give only 15% of the discount. I cannot give 35% of the discount. If I want to give the 30% of 35% of the discount, I do want to take the approval from my seniors or approval from the people above my level. So the manager should actually approve the request, approve the record which I am sending him with the discount percentage of 35%. If the manager accepts my request, then only the specified actions will actually for. I can send an email, I can create a task, I can create a field update, or I can send an order outbound messages for the record. So approval process is a process where you need to get the approval for your record from the role above yours. So since I myself as a clerk of an organization, I cannot actually give the 35% of the discount. But I need to take, if I do want to give a discount of 35%, if I do want to intimate it about my higher officials or above my level to actually take a decision with respect to this customer requirement of discount 35%. So what I need to do, I need to send the record for an approval to the concerned person. So the concerned person will check over the record, and if the condition is satisfactory, and if the customer is a liable customer, and if he is working on the regular basis buying the products with our organization, and the based on the customer relationship with the organization, the manager will check everything, and what he will do, he will actually either approve the record or reject the record. If he approves the record, the actions like email, task, field update, and outbound messages can be performed. But if he rejects the record, none of these actions will perform. So this is with respect to the approval process. So guys, anyone are having any queries with respect to the approval process till now? Hello.
No, fine. Yeah, no.
Okay. So why do we go for an approval process then?
So each time, like when we send any request or something,
Hmm.
we need approval.
From
Yes.
the higher person.
Yes.
Which we report.
Yes, exactly. So this is so in our day-to-day business life scenarios, we will get to this approval process, and this is we need to get an approval from the above person so that we can actually perform the field update operation. So if there is no need for the clerk to again fire any of the email or any task, anything. If the person above your level approves your record, then automatically the action will be performed and the status will be changed from changed to approved. There is no intervenience of the clerk again to check whether the manager has approved my record or not. The action will automatically perform if the manager accepts the record. So this is how the automation actions called as approval process will actually work in your organization. And we have two different types of wizards in the approval process. Wizards in the approval process. One is called as a jumpstart wizard. Jumpstart wizard. and the other wizard is with respect to the standard setup wizard. So these are the two types of the wizards that are available in our Salesforce. We can say that the jumpstart wizard is a simple step, simple approval process, single step, single approval process, and jumpstart is, we can say, like a multi-step, multi approval process. And we do have certain criteria like simple step, complex process, simple step, simple process, multi-step, complex process, multi-step, complex, simple process. So based on our business requirement, we will be having these many factors. But don't worry, if you do want to go for a complex process or a multi approval from other persons, you will get to know by the navigation itself in your approval process. And this is with respect to the two types of the wizard that are available in our Salesforce. And if you do want to create an approval process, you have three different types of the steps to actually create your approval process. The first thing is with respect to the submission phase. If you do want to submit a record for approval, on which object you want to create on which object you want to submit the record for approval, and what is the entry criteria that you need to submit a record to the approval, and who is your approver, and what is the initial action that you want to create whenever you are submitting a record. Let's see in the navigation. Guys, grab a pen and paper, because we are having a lot of navigations while creating our approval process, and sometimes it is really hard to actually know where we are in this approval process. Grab a pen and paper so that you can understand where we are navigating and where we are going to. So similarly, if you do want to create an approval process, go to the setup, platform tools, and in the platform tools we have process automations and approval process. So this is our approval process page, and select the manage approval process for. So if you do want to select, first you need to select the approval process in order to so you need to select the object on which you need to create this approval process for. I'm selecting my customer object so that I can send my customer record to any of the people above my level to actually approve my process. So this is my customer object that I have selected with, and here we have an option pick list field as to select our wizard. So we have a jumpstart wizard and we have a standard setup wizard. These two kinds of the wizards are available in the Salesforce to create your approval process, and we are going with the standard setup wizard. Don't worry with the jumpstart wizard, it is a very easy process. After understanding this standard setup wizard, you will understand it with very ease. So what is your process name? Define your process name, what you want to go for. I want to go for approval with manager is my approval process. And if you do want to add any description, you can add and click on the next. So this is with respect to the entry criteria. So if you want all the records to be automatically submitted to the manager, you can leave this entry criteria as it is, and you don't need to do any modification. But if you do want specific records to enter your approval steps, then you need to specify the criteria here. Since I will specify the criteria as customer active equals to true, only these records should be submitted for the approval. If the customer active status is not true, then the records will not be sent for the approval. This is with respect to the specific entry criteria. If you do want to leave this, you can leave this with unmodified, so that every record will be available for the approval. So if you do want to submit specific records only for approval, you can specify your criteria over here, and you can also give your filter logics with respect to your filter logics, which are available at the bottom of this entry criteria, and click on next. And here you need to choose your approver. So once you are submitting your record to any specific submitting the record, who should be your approver? Who should be the concerned person that who has to approve your record? You can select over here by choosing the standard field as manager, which we have in the user record, and we have one more custom field in the user fields called as zonal manager. You can choose any of the person to actually as your approver to whom you are submitting your records to. So this is the person. So right now I am not selecting any person right now, because in the approval phase I want to choose my approval as a manually. I want to choose my approver manually. So if you do want to choose your approver manually, you don't need to specify any of the approver over here. And you have one more option called as use approval field for customer over. This field is with respect to, similarly, let's consider that the Sham created the record. So if he uh, submit the record for approval, to whom it will go for? It will go for to the Sham's manager. Now, if the record owner is created by the Ram, in that case, to whom it will be going for? To whom's manager it will be going for? So, in my situation, the record is created by the Sham. Since I choose this manager as since I choose this approver as my manager, so it will be directly submitted to whose manager? It will be submitted to Sham's manager. But if the Ram who created the record, if I choose my automated approver as a manager, to whom's manager it will be submitted to? It will be submitted to the Sham's manager or Ram's manager. So if you do enable this checkbox, it will be it will sorry okay it will be actually submitted to the Ram's manager. If you did not enable this checkbox, it will be, since the Ram created the record, it will be submitted to the Sham's manager. If you enable this checkbox, if the Ram created the record, it will be submitted to the Ram's manager. If you did not enable this checkbox, if the Ram created the record, it will be submitted to the Sham's manager. So this is with respect to the use approver field of customer owner. So whoever is creating the record, if you do want to submit the record for that person who created that record, it will be submitted to the person who created it will be submitted to the manager who created the record. Now if you do want to submit all the record to a single manager, so you don't need to specify this enable option. So whoever may create the record in your organization, it will be submitted to the Sham manager. Or if you're in a specific case, you want to submit the record to the specific manager. If the Ram created the record, I want to assign to the Ram's manager. If Kiran created a record, I want to assign to the Kiran's manager. It will submit the manager to the Kiran's manager if you enable this checkbox. So guys, are you able to understand why this use approval field of customer owner is here in our approval step? Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Only one reply. Okay, that's fine. And we have one more option called as record editability properties. What is this record editability properties will actually do? Whenever you you submit your record for approval, the record will be automatically be logged. It will not be available for any of the other users to actually edit the record. So in that specific scenario, if you do want to edit the record, the Salesforce will have an option called as record editability properties. In this record editability properties, it will decide who can edit the record. Administrator only can edit the record during the approval process. If you enable this radio button, what it will happen is only the administrator will be able to edit the records. Now if you want the administrator or the any currently assigned approval can edit this record, you can give this person to actually approve this record and click on next. And if you do want to any specific email template to actually intimate to your customer, to your approver, you can choose your email over here. Right now I'm not selecting any email to actually send a notification to the customer, and just click on next. And this is with respect to the Okay, and in this scenario, if you do want to specify any of the other, if you do want to specify what are the fields that you need to send for the approval, you can give the fields whatever you want to send for your approval. You can specify over selected fields over here, so only these fields of data will be submitted to your approval. And we have one more option called as display approval history information in addition to the field selected above. So if you do want to give the information with respect to the time being of how these values are being changed in these fields, you can enable this option over here called as display approval history information in addition to the field selected above. So what it will do is it will actually track the changes that are happening in these fields. And we have one more setting called as security setting. So what this security setting will actually do is allow approvers to access the approval page only from within the Salesforce application. So if you do want the user to actually approve your record from the Salesforce itself, you have to enable this option called as approve from this page. Or if you do want the approver, your approver, either your manager or any other person, to actually approve your record from Salesforce or outside the Salesforce by using in the mobiles or using the wireless devices, you can choose over the security setting over here. So if you do want the approver to actually approve your record from the Salesforce itself only, you can choose the first option over here. If you do want to choose your approver to actually approve or reject a record either from the Salesforce application or from his mobile application or from any other devices where he can open the Salesforce application, you can choose over the second option. So I'm selecting the first option and click on next. And this is with respect to the fields. And we have one more option called as who is the initial submitter that you want to assign this record. Because whenever you are submitting a record, every person in an organization, you cannot give access to every person in an organization to submit your record to the manager. You need to select certain persons only, certain people only who can actually submit your record. So we can specify in our sixth step saying that who is the concerned person who can submit this record for this. I'm taking only Shyam can actually submit this record for approval. So this is with respect to the, so now only Shyam can be able to submit the records. So if the clerk may create, the HR manager create, the manager may create, whoever the person may create the record in the Salesforce, Shyam is the assigned person who will take care of the records. He is the person who can only submit the records for the approval. So what the Shyam's duty is, being an executive, he will check all the clerk records that he has created, and he will check with all the records, and if any of the records in the organization need an approval from the manager, he will submit the records for the approval to the manager. And this is with respect to the initial submission phase. And we have one more function called as submission request. If in the submission process, if anything goes wrong, if you do want to recall your record back, then in that situation you have an checkbox field called allow submitter to recall approval request. If the submitter want to recall the approval request, he need to select the allow submitters to recall the request. And this is with respect to the first phase of creating your approval process. So here we have the sub steps like specify object. What are the first in this step 1 of approval phase, we have the options like specify the object. First you need to specify the object, and second you need to give the entry criteria. And the third step that you should be giving is who is your approver. Either it can be a manager or a concerned assigned user in your user object. You can choose any of them, and you can also choose the options with respect to the to the person like the fourth approval step is, if you want to send any email template, you can send any email message to the approver by using the fourth step. And the fifth step is something with respect to the what are the fields that you want to select to send to the approval. And the sixth step is with respect to the who is your initial submitter. So these are the step one process which are available in our approval process. So if you do want to create an approval process and assign your records to a specific person, you should go with the step one phases, specifying all these criteria in your records. And this is how you can create your first approval process for the first phase. And the second phase is with respect to the initial submission action. And these are the n number of actions that are available in your approval process. Suppose if you do want to specify any email update or email alert or field update, or creating a task or creating an outbound messages with respect to the initial submission action. If Sham submitted the record, since I am choosing the Sham as an initial submitter who can submit my record, if with respect to the Shams, if I want to perform any operations with respect to the creating task, email alert, field update and outbound messages, I can choose my initial submission action over here. So whenever the Sham submits a record for approval, automatically these actions will be performed and the record is automatically locked. It is a Salesforce defined functionality. In the initial submission action, you cannot unlock the record, because whereas in the final approval action and the final rejection action, you can actually check whether you can actually lock or unlock the record, but you cannot check over here, because it is a standard step and the record will be locked. No one can actually edit the record if it is submitted by the Sham to his concerned manager. So this is with respect to the initial submission action. And if you do want to create any initial submission action, you can create over here. So whenever the Sham created the record, it will be automatically submitted. Initial submission, and we have an email template saying that for contact creation and who is the available users to specify the user to whom you want to send these email messages with respect to the field represents or with respect to the users and with respect to the roles and everything. And this is your initial submission actions. Now you have something called as a approval. You have two different steps, two more steps which you have to specify to complete your approval step. One is with respect to the approval step and one is with respect to the final action and rejection action. So the step 2 is with respect to the approval step. So in this approval step, what it will happen is, if you specify a group of the records for an approval, based on the certain criteria, you can decide which records should go for the manager or which record should be automatically approved or automatically rejected. You can specify over the approval step, and you can create up to n number of the steps, and you can create a what we say as multi-step approval. So if manager accepted the record, it's okay. If I need an approval from the other user other than manager, I want to get the approval from the regional manager also, you can define the n number of the steps to actually define your manager approval. And you have something called as step 3, where you will having the final approval and rejection, and you can define all these steps in this way. So guys, in the next section we will be seeing how to define this approval step and final action. So that's all for the